esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor Santosh Kumar Agrawala, Chairman DC Council, Professor Mohan, Director, HRDC, Professor Prakash Chandra Sarani, Honorable former Vice Chancellor of the and respected Professor Gitanjali, former Vice Chancellor of Colombo University, Dr. Rajas Sridhar, coordinator of this committee. Professor Siddhartha Sir, co-coordinator of this program, and members of HRDC, and distinguished faculty members, invited guests, resource persons, and your esteemed faculty participants. So, a very warm good afternoon to all. It's my privilege and honor to, on behalf of Human Resource Development Center for the Mohan University, to welcome you all to this inaugural session of 1 week faculty development program on human rights in contemporary India. Challenges. Human rights are not merely legal provisions written in the books or constitutional guarantees preserved in the documents. They present the fundamental values of human dignity, equality, liberty, justice, and respect for every individual. So, in a rapidly changing society like contemporary India, understanding these values and addressing the challenges surrounding them has become the increasingly important, particularly for teachers and academicians who have the responsibility of shaping the minds and values of future generations. And we have, and we are lucky enough to have 3 vice chancellors coming with us today. So they have actually understand what is the fundamental rights and fundamental duties. So I think they have in this position today. So I welcome you all, sir, to this forum. Now, I request volunteers to offer the something to our esteemed dignitaries. At the outset, I extend my respectful welcome to our who is taking the great significance to the inaugural session. I warmly welcome Professor Prakash Chandra Sarani sir, former Vice Chancellor of the University and former Professor of the University of Hyderabad, and Professor Gitanjali Das, former Vice Chancellor of the University. So now it is time for showing honor to our university anthem.
Fakir Mohan, Amojati Bhasa Paurava, Fakir Smriti Viswa Vidyalaya, Jana Vidyana Ravi Bhava, Jaya Padesa, Inaugural, Akara Bruta, Vani, Pavana, Sasata Pavitra, Jaya Jatara Sari Banayita, Anantite Vene Antarctica, Jaya Amruta Simare Hare, Bhakti Vasya Amruta, Bhakti Vasya Amruta, Vanyayita Sovihara, Vanyayana Mandira, Mukta Pandeya Santara
Thank you. Now, may I request Dr. Rajastri Madam, Coordinator of the Secretary, to give the introduction speech of this faculty.
Thank you, sir. Esteemed Vice Chancellor of Fakir University, Sri Santosh Kumar Tripathi, sir. Esteemed former Vice Chancellor of FMU University, Professor Prakash Chandra Sarangi, sir. Esteemed former Vice Chancellor of Barampur University, Professor Gitanjali Das, madam. Respected Chairman, Postgraduate Council, Professor Santosh Kumar Agarwal, sir. Respected Director, Human Resource Development Center, Professor Ranindra Kumar Naik, sir. Respected Head, Department of Social Science, Dr. Gitanjali Parma, madam. Members of HRDC, faculty members of Fakir University, participants which include the participants are from different colleges as well as from our university, and also one two participants from MSCB University. So on behalf of Department of Social Science and Human Resource Development of Fakir University, I welcome you all to this 1 week faculty development program on human rights in contemporary India, issues and challenges. So when we talk of human rights in contemporary India, they have been defined by a strong constitutional and legal framework, balanced against persistent, systematic and emerging social challenges. Now, when I talk about this constitutional and legal framework, it may be related to fundamental rights, which have been enshrined in Part 3 of the Constitution of India, or judicial activism. For example, courts use public interest litigation to expand Article 21, or statutory bodies, for example, the National Human Rights Commission, which investigates human rights violation and reviews safeguarding measures under the Protection of Human Rights Act. Now, these frameworks are used against different challenges and violations. And when we talk of these challenges and violations, for example, issues concerning custodial violence, police power misuse, or gender-based violence, application of anti-terror and security laws impacting freedom of expression, issues relating to caste and marginalization, attacks on minorities, cybercrimes and digital rights, ethnic clashes, and many more such concerns. So this faculty development program, it targets to familiarize participants with contemporary human rights issues and challenges, and to strengthen research and teaching skills related to human rights studies, and lastly to encourage academic discussion and to have an experiential learning relating to human rights concerning policies, laws, ethics, and social justice. So throw more light on these different aspects, challenges, concerns, dimensions relating to human rights, we have eminent experts from us from the discipline of political science, economics, and sociology. Now, what can be a great start of this faculty development program? And we are privileged to have 3 vice chancellors with us sharing their days for the inaugural session. Now, for this inaugural session, we have with us Professor Prakash Chandra Sarangi, sir, who is the former Vice Chancellor of FMU University and former Professor, Department of Political Science, University of Hyderabad. He was a senior academic consultant at the Indian Council of Social Science Research, New Delhi. He was also the Pro-Vice Chancellor and Director of International Affairs at University of Hyderabad during 2009 to 10. His academic interests revolve around democratic theory and practice. We welcome you, sir, to this faculty development program. Professor Gitanjali Das, madam, who is the first women Vice Chancellor of Barampur University. She was the professor of Department of Social Science, Fakir University, before joining as Vice Chancellor of Barampur University. She has more than 35 years of teaching and research experience. She was the Vice President of Indian Political Science Association, and later on she was elected as President of Indian Political Science Association in 2023. She was nominated as one of the 14 most influential women in education space in 2024 by the prestigious Business World Education Group. She is a strong believer in equality and human rights for all. We welcome you, madam, to this faculty development. We have with us our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Sri Santosh Kumar Tripathi sir, who has the distinction of being an excellent expert in the field of HR, OP and labor laws. FMU has reached the height of grade A by NAC accreditation under his supervision, and during his second tenure as Vice Chancellor of Fakir University, will try to reach level 5 under his creative leadership and vision. We welcome you, sir, to this inaugural session of Faculty Development Program. We have with us Professor Santosh Kumar Agarwala, Chairman of Postgraduate Council. He is the Professor, Department of Physics of Fakir University. His expertise is in nuclear physics. We welcome you, sir, to this Faculty Development Program. We have with us Professor Ranindra Kumar Rai, who is the Director of HRDC. He is a Professor in the Department of Environmental Science of Fakir University. He specializes in ethnomedicinal plant, traditional herbal remedies, etc. He is the present coordinator of Mangrove Research Center, which is newly started in our university. So I welcome you, sir, to this faculty development program. We have with us Dr. Gitanjali Panda, Head Department of Social Science, Fakir University. She is the Associate Professor of Economics and also a member of Internal Complaint Committee of the university. So I welcome you, madam, to this faculty development program. Besides this, we'll have other experts will be joining us, like Professor Gyanaranjan Swain from Department of Political Science, Gangadhar Meher University, Professor Sudhakar Patra, RBI Chair and Professor, Department of Analytical Applied Economics, Utkal University, Dr. Siva Prasad Patnaik, Regional Head, Life Insurance Corporation, Bengaluru. We will also have Professor Vikram Kesari Mishra from Department of Sociology, Ravenshaw University. Professor Anil Kumar Mahapatre will be joining us. Like he is presently the Indian Chair of the Nepal, Tribhuvan University, Nepal. Professor Tatyamosi Palka Singh, Madam, Adjunct Professor, recently she has joined in the Department of Social Science and former Professor of Department of Sociology, Sambalpur University. Professor Suryanarayan Mishra, former Professor, Department of Political Science, Utkal University, will be joining us as the expert of differentiation. Apart from this, our own Vice Chancellor sir will be delivering a session. Along with this, our internal faculty member will deliver different session on FDP. So let us make this 1 week faculty development program a fruitful academic interactions and stand up for human rights, because to deny people their human rights is to challenge their basic humanity. So thank you one and all for who have joined us for this faculty development program. And for the knowledge of the dignitaries, we have around 30 participants from different colleges and our own university from the discipline of political science, history, sociology, economics, etc. And in total, we'll have 20 sessions for this 1 week faculty development program. So thank you one and all for joining in this 1 week faculty development. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for giving the brief introduction of the program and introducing our esteemed dignitaries. Now, may I request Professor Anil Kumar, Director HRDC, to address the gathering. And share his valuable insights and guidance.
Very good morning to everybody. Esteemed Vice Chancellor, Human University, Sri Santosh Kumar Agarwala, esteemed guest, former Vice Chancellor, Professor Mohan of Ravenshaw University, Professor Gitanjali Das, former Vice Chancellor of Varanasi University and former Professor of our University. Esteemed Chairman of the Council, Professor Santosh Kumar Agarwala, esteemed Department of Social Science, Dr. Gitanjali Panda, Member HRDC, Rajesh Madam, Satyamna Sir, Ila Sir, and other dignitaries present here and dear participants. So it's a pleasure on my part to address you in this inaugural session of this faculty development program on human rights in the on Central India issues and challenges. So this is the third local level program in this academic session, and the first one was on quantum mechanics that was conducted by the physics department, and second one on artificial intelligence issues and challenges that has been conducted by computer science. All these faculty level programs are the brainchild of our esteemed Vice Chancellor, and we have conducted all these faculty development programs in physical mode. So FDP in physical mode has a special challenge because in online mode we do not get that type of learning that we get in physical mode. Here in all these faculty development programs, we have a number of hands-on training programs, and these faculty development programs will be very much useful for the career advancement programs of the faculties of university and colleges, as well as it also gives an in-depth analysis of various topics by a number of experts in different fields. We are very lucky that this inaugural session has been graced by three eminent persons, Vice Chancellors, who are expert in their fields and has also much contribution for the protection of human rights in different times. In the present time, we find violation of human rights in various fields. So, to protect our human rights in a proper way is an urgent need of the hour. I hope that this faculty level program will give us much idea about how to protect it and how to proceed further for the protection of human rights. I wish that this faculty level program will have a successful ending. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Now, may I request Dr. Gitanjali Pandana, Head Department of Social Science, to address the
Namaskar and good afternoon to all of you. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to this FDP program on human rights in contemporary world, issues and challenges. And in fact, human rights remain central to the idea of having a just society, a democratic society, and a human society. But despite such provisions in the international declarations, in the constitutions, still we have the violation of these human rights, and recognizing those rights in the constitutions and the declaration is not enough. We have to see to what extent the common man is able to protect its rights. That is, and ultimately I would like to say, in recent times, two things have brought new challenges in human rights, that is climate change. This climate change has hampered the lives of the people in terms of their livelihoods, food security, housing and health. And survival of these vulnerable people is an important challenge. And again, technological innovation. Definitely we are rapidly growing. Economy is growing, GDP is growing. We have lacked technological innovations, but at the same time, we have a challenge from the digital world. And those challenges are data misuse, the online harassment, misinformation, and unequal access to digital resources. So there is a right to privacy, and equal digital access have become an increasingly important challenge. So the most important, I would say, development is meaningful only when it protects human dignity and leaves no one behind. And the most important thing, we have failed in that manner. There is a large scale hunger, unemployment, inequality, and the country has not been able to provide these basic necessities to the people. So the objective of this program is to not only to transmit information about these provisions, but to trigger our critical thinking, our constitutional, we should develop value system, empathy and social responsibility among us. We are the people, academicians, research scholars, we are the persons who are to spread this awareness and get it converted into practical application. And I hope this program will be a great success, and we will understand human rights not as ideas in the constitution or in declaration, rather how we can practice it in every institutions in our daily lives. I wish all the FDP organizers of FDP program registry, Sachidananda sir, who have taken a lot of effort, made it a very great success, and all participants, I think, will have fruitful and enriching experiences by the time the program gets ends. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your beautiful thoughts. Now it's time for the self-introduction of participants. May I request participants to give their introduction.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. My name is Mohan. I am lecturer in English from Mohan Institute. Myself, lecturer in political science from Korea and a political scholar which department of social science from Korea University, Malaysia. My name is Mohan and I am a lecturer in political department in Toronto,
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jagannath Singh, lecturer in economics. I am from Mohan College, Canada.
Good morning, all of you. I am Sujalita Sierra, lecturer in philosophy from SJEF Degree College, Coronation Palace. Everyone, myself Sonali Sethi, lecturer in economics from College, Sorona. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shamasunani Kalula. I am lecturer in English from Upendranath College, Palestine.
Good afternoon. I am Ajay Gopal, faculty of history, Kolkata, Manisaba, Famous College.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Manika Satrapati from Manisaba Medical College. I am from Kolkata. Sir, I am Rasmini Rao, Assistant Professor in Department of Social Work from Human University. Sir, I am working as an Assistant Professor in Department of Affairs and Public University. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jasmine Samantha and I am working as an Assistant Professor in Department of Applied Psychology for Human University. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jasmine Samantha. Good morning, everyone. I am Vikram Fakir, research scholar in economics, Department of Home Social Science. Good morning, everyone. I am Rohan Islam, research scholar in Department of Namaskar, sir. Myself, Mohan, Fakir, Assistant Professor, Department of Psychology, Technical Research and Fakir. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mohan. I am a research scholar, Department of Social Science, Mohan University.
Good afternoon, I am Amrita Bara, Assistant Professor of Economics, Department of Social Science, Mohan University.
Good afternoon. My name is Sandirubal Jana, Assistant Professor, Department of History and Economics.
Yes, sir. I am Chandu Panikri, Faculty of Social Science, Mohan University.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rakesh Malik, lecturer in economics, Sorapana Andhra.
Namaskar, sir. I am Mohan, currently in the Economics Department of Social Science, Mohan University. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Akash Malik, Assistant Professor of Department of Anthropology, Mohan University.
Namaskar, myself, Mrs. Prada, Assistant Professor in Anthropology, Mohan University.
Namaskar sir and madam. I am Dr. FMU Mohan, Department of Political Science, UNM Mohan, Uppsala.
Issue after related to IHS provide.
Good afternoon, respected dignitaries. I am Dr. Yashashri Rao. I am currently serving as Assistant Professor in Economics, Fakir. Good afternoon, I am Sivalakshmi Chowdhury, Department of Social Science, Fakir. Good afternoon, respected sir and ma'am. I am Kamasar Faragi, faculty member of Sociology, Center for Distance and Online Education, Fakir. Namaskar sir and madam. My name is Priyamoda Malai, faculty of Political Science, Fakir. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Devabrata Das, lecturer in Sociology from Hyderabad, Tradition. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Lily and Rao, a scholar in economics of Fakir University.
Good afternoon everyone. I am Raghunath Pushpi, lecturer in Political Science, North and Development Mohan.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Supriya Rao. I am an assistant professor in social work, English of University. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Critical Assistant, PhD Scholar in Sociology, Fakir University.
Good afternoon, everyone. Esteemed dignitaries on the desk. I am Susan Pagodnek, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Applied Psychology.
Namaskar, I am Dr. Jalmat Tehra from Department of Population Study, FMU.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pratisita Thapa, Assistant Professor of Sociology, Fakir University.
Now, sir, after the village of Christian to eminent academia, with distinguished academic leadership and the contributions have inspired generations of students and teachers. May I now request our esteemed vice chancellor, sir, to state Professor Prakash Chandra Saragi, sir, vice chancellor of FMU, and also the former professor of University of Hyderabad. Also, I'm requesting our vice chancellor sir to state respected Dr. Chandra We are indeed fortunate to have with us Professor Prakash Chandra Saragi, a distinguished professor, administrator, and scholar with rich experience in higher education. Sir, your presence today is a source of great inspiration for us. So now I simply request you to make it as a
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Santosh Kumar Tripathi, Professor Gitanjali Das, other dignitaries in the dais, the dais and the fellow knowledge seekers in human rights. I'm pleased to be here in this beautiful campus and to be felicitated by Dr. Tripathi once again. I have not counted how many times he has felicitated me. This may be my, I don't know, 10th visit to this campus. I always enjoy coming here. And particularly today, to talk about a subject which may be of my initial interest, but my lasting interest. Rajasri and Sachidanand may not remember. University of Hyderabad, where I taught most of my life, was the first university to get a very large grant to organize a human rights program. And it was housed in my department, political science department, with able leadership of my colleague, Professor Haragopal. Some of you might have heard of his name. He's a very, very important scholar activist in human rights. We also brought out a journal called Indian Journal of Human Rights. Professor Haragopal was the editor. I happened to be the associate editor of that journal. We also ran a PG diploma in human rights during that time. Later, this human rights program, if you call it a program to start with, within political science department, was converted to a center for study of human rights. Now it's a center for study of human rights, and an interdisciplinary center which also grants degrees, an independent center, and it was a long journey. Even now, a lot of research is going on human rights in the School of Social Sciences there. What I would appeal to Professor Tripathi is that maybe you can replicate that scenario at FMU University. Create a human rights program to start with, and then perhaps a center, an interdisciplinary center, just like women's studies and gender studies. There's a lot of scope for research, and it's what there are pitfalls. I already narrated incidentally during my last 1 hour lecture. I narrated the pitfalls of doing human rights research. But then it's very gratifying. Even otherwise, many of you can bring in the human rights component into your own existing research agenda. It's possible. But all that I would say is that this one week's program can be a nucleus for a greater agenda for the university that starts from HRDC Center. It can go to the School of Social Sciences, it's called the Department of Social Sciences. You see, I mentioned in my last lecture that unfortunately human rights has been appropriated by law faculties everywhere in the country. Universities rarely have a human rights program, but it's worth spending time and energy and money on this program, and hopefully Professor Tripathi will take an initiative as he has done in many other cases. There are many feathers in his cap. This will be one more. With these words, I appreciate, compliment the program coordinators for organizing this, and I enjoyed being here. Incidentally, since I understand that the department has a departmental library, and let me take this opportunity to contribute one of my books to that library.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable words. We now have the privilege of listening. Thank you very much, sir. We now have the privilege of listening to Dr. Upendra Das Madam, former Vice Chancellor of Baroda University, and an eminent academic leader. And she is also from, she was in this university.
Esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor Fakir, esteemed Professor Fakir, my respected teacher, former Vice Chancellor of the Minister, esteemed Chairman Postgraduate Council in Social Science, members of HRDC, and my dear participants, and other members of Fakir University. First of all, I congratulate the department for having arranged such a nice faculty development program on a very relevant topic, and that reminds me, it is always a pleasure coming back to Fakir University. Maybe after a long time I'm coming due to my very pressing engagements. I could not come last year, and it is always gives a pleasant experience seeing the campus growing so rapidly in its greenery, and has a very aesthetic beauty also. I started my career from this department, where I have taught for more than 14 years. I was just remembering in 2019 we had organized a 21 days literature course program, and Prakash sir was also the resource person, and some of the participants were also they had participated who are my students in the department, and also in college they had also participated, and we had invited excellent resource persons from all over India for that literature course. It was a 21-day literature course in political science. So it is always it is very important to organize these faculty development programs, and HRDC, all the universities, is doing excellent job in arranging all these, because even in Baroda University, the HRDC, the MMKTC organizes NEP program on Indian knowledge system, and a program very recently also last week we had organized a literature course in political science. I think it was for 2 weeks. So these are always very important for the new scholars, and also the teachers who have joined various universities and colleges. So the topic is very important. Already Rajashri has given a lot of information and data also on human rights, and head of the department also spoke a lot on human rights. I will have a class very just immediately after this inauguration, so we'll be discussing human rights, the challenges in detail, and I will touch upon the gender component also during my lecture, because it is a passion for me always to take up a gender perspective in every topic. So it is always an important, it is human rights, they constitute not only a legal framework, they are not only a part of the legal framework of a democratic system, rather it provides a moral foundation in any democracy. In the many statutes, conventions, a constitutional framework, and so many international conventions are there to elaborately discuss human rights. These are the foundation of democracy, we can say. They are the basic claims of every human being to live with dignity and self-respect. So that is the most important component of human rights, we can say. We have a long civilizational tradition in India. We always believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So that is also, that emphasizes on human rights. And the father of the nation, Gandhi, also emphasized on human rights and human dignity. Always he has emphasized on human dignity and on violence, which are also they put the foundation of human rights. And more importantly, Ambedkar had also discussed on human rights, and in this, when he discusses the political democracy, he always emphasized that without social and economic democracy, political democracy may not be successful. So it is we have a very long tradition of human right component, human right discussions in India, and our constitution, the preamble also is a reflection of number of human rights, the fundamental rights. They also add to the legal component of human rights. Directive principles also, they add to the social and economic components. And Rajeshwari was emphasizing Article 21, which has been very, very comprehensively interpreted by the Supreme Court of India, which had added a number of dimensions to human rights, which we had never thought of. All these rights could be added, as he was saying, environmental degradation. That also is a violation of human rights, and so many others also. Poverty is also a human right violation. So the central question in front of us, which we can discuss during these 5 days, the 5 days long, there will be so many lectures and so many resource persons will be discussing. The central question is whether we need progress and or human rights. So because most of the time we have seen human progress like development and human rights are contradicting each other. When there is more development, there is more of human rights violations. So we should emphasize upon seeing that development is, it should be an agency to protect human rights in this country. So then only we can, the development should be inclusive. Development should be based on equity. Then only we can have human rights in our society, in our community. As I was saying, it is not a question of law department. It is a question of every social scientist to think how to protect human rights. More so political science as a subject. We should always keep it in mind how these are an important component of our syllabus and of our studies and of in our research, etc. So all these concepts we'll be discussing. We should emphasize how securely the weakest person can live with dignity. Then only the last person, the last vulnerable person in the society should have the capacity to have the privilege to live with self-respect and dignity. Then only we can say we are a developed nation. So that is more important always. So the right to equality is important. It is there, but substantive equality is missing. Substantive equality is a very comprehensive term, and it has a lot of other dimensions. The child born into poverty always affects human rights. A child who is born with a silver spoon and a child who is born in a very remote village, they can never have the same human rights, even though they are born as equals. We may be born as equals, but poverty makes a lot of difference. Then rights of women. We are born equal. Half of the population are women, but gender rights are yet to be realized to the fullest possible extent in our country and across the world as well. So these are also very important human rights. So children, poverty, and we have to see these are the issues which should be discussed by us. Who has access to healthcare? Is everybody having access to healthcare? Is everybody have access to clean air, quality education, secure housing, protection during disaster, access to internet, approach to the approach to court or access to court? If when all these parameters will be fulfilled, then only development and democracy will be successful in a large country like India. So we'll be discussing more and more on it in my class. Thank you all.
Vice Chancellor Sri Santosh Mohan, Professor, esteemed Professor Prakash Chandra Sir, esteemed Professor Gitanjali Dasna, esteemed Professor Mohan, Director HRDC, respected Head of the Department of Social Science, Gitanjali Madam, Coordinator of this program, Rajeshri Ma'am, and all the faculty members of the Social Science Department, all members of the HRDC, and all participants who are coming from the different colleges and research scholars. First of all, a very warm welcome to this FDP program. Actually, the university is committed to improve the quality of education in the affiliated colleges as well as in the university. So under the guidance of our visionary leader, Vice Chancellor Sir, we are continuing to conduct such type of equity development program for our teachers. First of all, we conducted the quantum computing program, then artificial intelligence. Now it is the time for the human rights. So I request all of you, please involve in this faculty development program and to learn something. Because when you learn something, it is easy to improve the quality of education. It is easy to teach your students. So we have chosen the advanced topics in this faculty development program for your improvement, for your teaching quality improvement. So I congratulate the Department of Social Science as well as I congratulate the HRDC Center for conducting such FDP like Human Rights in Contemporary India, Issues and Challenges. At the outset, I also very much thankful to our research persons like Professor Prakash Chandra Sir and Professor Gitanjali Madam for accepting our invitation and ready to deliver this talk in front of you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Now we have arrived at the most significant moment of today's inaugural session ceremony. It is our great privilege to have with us our Vice Chancellor.
Esteemed Professor Prakash Chandra Sir, Professor Gitanjali Das, Chairman of the Council for Social Inaugural, Director HRDC Professor Mohan, Head of the Department of Social Science, Gitanjali Madam, the coordinators of HRDC, coordinator of the program, dear colleagues from other departments and dear participants. At the outset, I must tell that बहुत समय अपमान को खेलिया को पड़ती है इनकी प्रोग्राम में जो होगा उसके बारे में कैरियर में एक दरकार प्रमोशन में दरकार जाने के लिए ये जाओ सी ऑनलाइन अटेंड कर दे पूरा ये मोड रे रखी ले बोले सिक्योरिटी से यथार्थ होगा So my request will be, please take part in such type of programs. If principals are not cooperating, inform us, so that we will take necessary steps. That is very clear. Second, let me start from last madam's views. She said that we had organized a 21 days program with excellent resource person. I must say that we are beginning the program with outstanding resource. And morning shows the day when you are having two vice chancellors and outstanding resource persons, you can imagine the quality of the program. And later on, you will definitely realize how best it is. We are observing many things. Even human rights day is observed, but that remains as a day. There is a time to think whether human rights is realized. We are just thinking about human rights or we are realizing human rights. That is very important. And many times I was just talking with Madam Raj. She said that we are talking of rights, we are forgetting about responsibilities. Four things should go together: rights, responsibilities, duties, and accountability. Each citizen is accountable for the country. We have developed an attitude that let me live comfortably with peace, but it should be let me live comfortably with peace, let others also live comfortably with peace. Then only human rights should be realized. Equality, equity, tolerance. Sir said about opening of diploma in human rights. I have already discussed with the Head of in Social Science. It will be open. But this year it will be a global program for this year. But next year we will obviously open it for us. And as you said, Center for Study of Human Rights, that is the from today it is done. So another thing is we will add women studies that is here. That will be opened by population studies. And from these days you should work out that should be a center of women studies. You will be responsible for that. And as I said, please try to learn about human rights. Faculty development program is not only to develop yourself, but to distribute the knowledge what you learn. Please disseminate it in your colleges, among your students. They must know about rights, they must know about their responsibilities. इतना घटना हमको निश्चय आंदोलित करे जो संयोजित प्रिंसिपल होता है घटना पब्लिक सब जानता है पब्लिक सब करता है तो ह्यूमन राइट्स राष्ट्रीय तो हमको समझने की जरूरत है देवमाळे में जगह घटती थी वो ह्यूमन राइट्स राष्ट्रीय से समझने की जरूरत है एवं हम चारिपटे जगह घटती ताको समीक्षा करबा पड़े हमें सही अनुसार in teachers or future teachers, we must look to human rights from that perspective. Everything should be analyzed, and this is not the end, this is the beginning for you, for realization of human rights. I was discussing with Professor Sarangi, he has been kind enough to give us a date on September 17th. He will be part of Purvasuri Bhaktata for your kind information. Topic will be inclusive social welfare, which is required for all. Therefore, I request all participants here to may participate on September 17th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring and insightful in our practice. Sir has highlighted four terms: rights, duties, responsibilities, and accountability. I think we must have a clarity on that. And now may I request Dr. Sasikanth sir to deliver the Thanksgiving.
Good evening to all. Esteemed Vice Chancellor, Sri Santosh Kumar Tripathi sir, esteemed Professor Prakash Chandra Sarangi sir, former Vice Chancellor of University,
esteemed Professor Gitali Das Madam, former Vice Chancellor of Inaugural University, esteemed Chair and PG Council, Professor Santosh Kumar Agarwal sir, esteemed Director HRDC, Professor Ananda Kumar Naik sir, respected Head of the Department of Social Science, Dr. Gitali Panda Madam, respected Coordinator, Dr. Daisy Madam, respected resource persons, fellow members, members of HRDC, and dear participants. It gives me immense pleasure to propose our vote of thanks at the inaugural session of this high-page FDP on human rights in contemporary India, issues and challenges, jointly organized by Department of Social Science and HRDC. At the very outset, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor Santosh Kumar Tripathi sir for blessing this inaugural function with his presence to inspiring inaugural aspects. His encouragement and guidance have added great value and significance to this program. Thank you, sir. I express my sincere thanks to Professor Sunil sir, former Vice Chancellor of University University and former Professor of University of Hyderabad, for his valuable presence and enlightening address. His rich academic experience and insights will certainly inspire all of us. I also extend my deepest gratitude to Professor Gitali Das Madam, former Vice Chancellor of Inaugural University and former Professor of Political Science of Mohan University, for her gracious presence and thoughtful address. Her words have provided us with valuable perspectives on the importance of human rights in contemporary society. My sincere thanks goes to Professor Santosh Kumar Agarwal sir, Chairman PG Council, for his valuable address and continued support for academic and faculty development activities in our university. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Professor Ananda Kumar Naik sir, Director of HRDC, for his guidance, leadership, and constant support in organizing this faculty development program. I would also like to express my gratitude to Dr. Gitali Panda Madam for her encouraging words and for her valuable support in making this program meaningful. I am equally thankful to Dr. Daisy Madam, coordinator of this FDP program, for her meticulous planning, coordination, and dedicated efforts in bringing this program together. I also like to acknowledge the support of HRDC team, university administration, technical staff, volunteers, and everyone working behind the scene. Their sincere efforts have helped ensure the smooth conduct of this program. Finally, I thank all the participants for being part of this activity. I am confident that the coming sessions will provide us with meaningful academic discussions, deliberations, new perspectives, and valuable learnings on the various dimensions of human rights in contemporary India. With this, I am thankful to one and all.
Thank you, sir. With this, we have come to the conclusion of the inaugural session. May I have request our Vice Chancellor sir to declare. Thank you, sir. May I now request all the dignitaries, resource persons, and participants to kindly assemble for the group photograph.